My brothers and sisters, you can lose your money and Allah can replace it. You can lose people and Allah can send better. But if you lose your deen, if you lose your salah, if you lose your connection with Allah because of toxic people, then what will you stand with on the day of judgment? So please listen carefully, because today we are talking about the signs that prove someone is toxic for your deen, even if they are family. And if you recognize these signs, then you must take action with wisdom before your heart becomes weak. 1. They mock your religion and make you feel ashamed of obeying Allah. My brothers and sisters, the first sign is when someone makes you feel embarrassed for doing what Allah loves. You try to pray and they laugh. You try to dress modestly and they make jokes. You try to lower your gaze and they call you old-fashioned. You try to avoid haram and they act like you are strange. They keep pushing you with words that look small, but they hit your heart deeply, because they say things like, why are you acting so religious? Relax, you are extreme. Nobody prays like this. Or don't take Islam so seriously. And slowly, without you even realizing, you start feeling ashamed of your own faith. And this is how your deen gets attacked. Not with a weapon, but with mockery. Not with force, but with pressure. Not with a direct command to leave Islam, but with constant jokes that make you feel like being close to Allah is something to hide. You start delaying your salah when they are around. You start praying quickly just to finish. You stop talking about Allah because you don't want to be teased. You start dressing differently because you don't want attention. You start pretending you are not practicing because you want to fit in. And that is dangerous, because the moment you hide your obedience to please people, your heart begins to weaken. My brothers and sisters, understand this clearly. A person who truly loves you will never make you feel small for choosing Allah. A person who truly cares about you will remind you to pray. They will respect your limits. They will protect your faith, and they will feel happy when you are improving. But when someone laughs at your deen, they are not just joking, they are trying to pull you down to their level, because your obedience reminds them of what they are neglecting. Many people don't like to see goodness, not because they hate you, but because they hate how it makes them feel inside. So never feel guilty for obeying Allah. Never feel ashamed for being on the straight path. Never feel like you need to apologize for praying, for dressing with honor, for avoiding haram, for speaking about Allah. Because this is not weakness, this is strength. This is your identity. This is your protection. And remember, people will not stand with you in your grave. People will not answer for you on the day of judgment. People will not carry your sins. So why should you sacrifice your akhirah just to make them comfortable? If someone is constantly mocking your religion, then my brothers and sisters, limit their access to you. Be respectful, because Islam teaches manners, but protect your heart, protect your faith, protect your connection with Allah. Because the truth is, this life is short and only your deeds will remain. 2. They pull you into haram and normalize sin until you stop feeling it. My beloved brothers and sisters, the second sign is when someone keeps pulling you toward haram again and again, and they make it feel normal, like it is nothing serious, like it is just fun, like it is just life. They invite you to places you know Allah will not be pleased with. They push you into gatherings full of sins. They encourage you to do things you know are wrong. And even when your heart hesitates, even when your conscience warns you, they don't respect your fear of Allah. Instead, they pressure you and make you feel weak for trying to be strong. They say things like, come on, it's not a big deal. They say everyone does this. They say stop being so strict. They say just one time. And my brothers and sisters, this is how shaitan destroys people. Not by telling them leave Islam, but by slowly making sin feel light, by slowly making haram feel normal, until the heart becomes numb and the person stops feeling guilt. At the beginning you feel uncomfortable. You feel heavy inside, you feel scared, but the more you keep going, the more the heart gets used to it, and that is the most dangerous stage, because when you stop feeling bad about sin, it means the sin has entered your life like it belongs there. And sometimes the person dragging you is not doing it with hatred, they are doing it because they want company in their sin. They don't want to be the only one disobeying Allah. So they want you to join them, they want you to fall with them, because when you stay clean, it makes them feel guilty, but when you become like them, they feel comfortable. That is why they don't like your boundaries. That is why they don't like your discipline. That is why they don't like your growth, because your faith is a mirror and they don't like what they see in it. My brothers and sisters, you must understand something very clearly. A real friend does not invite you to haram. A real friend does not pressure you to disobey Allah. A real friend does not make you feel embarrassed for trying to be pure. A real friend makes it easier for you to pray, makes it easier for you to stay away from sin, makes it easier for you to be close to Allah. But a toxic person for your deen is the one who makes haram look sweet and makes halal look boring. And that is exactly the trick of shaitan, to make the road to Jannah feel too hard and the road to hell feel too normal. So my beloved brothers and sisters, be honest with yourself. When you are with this person, do you remember Allah more or do you forget Allah more? When you are with this person, does your salah become stronger or does your salah become weaker? When you are with this person, do you feel peace in your heart or do you feel darkness and guilt afterward? Because if every time you are with them, you end up doing something that weakens your Imaan, then it is not a small issue anymore. It is a danger to your akhirah. And remember, you do not have to hate them, you do not have to fight them, you do not have to insult them, but you must protect yourself, reduce your contact, stop going where they invite you. Stop following their lifestyle. Stop trusting their opinion. Be polite, but be firm. Because on the day of judgment, they will not stand in front of Allah to answer for you, and they will not take your punishment. So do not allow anyone to drag you into haram and then leave you alone with the consequences. 3. They constantly backbite, spread negativity and poison your heart. My beloved brothers and sisters, the third sign is when someone's tongue is always dirty, always full of backbiting, always full of negativity, and when you sit with them, you don't leave feeling lighter, you leave feeling heavy. Every conversation with them turns into gossip. Every gathering becomes a courtroom. They sit and judge people like they are perfect. They expose people's mistakes like it is entertainment. They speak about others behind their backs like it is a hobby. And they don't realize that they are destroying their own akhirah with every sentence. They will talk about family, friends, neighbors, even religious people, even good people, and they will make fun of them. They will insult them. They will call them names. They will spread rumors. And what is scary is not only the sin they are doing, but the environment they are creating. Because my brothers and sisters, backbiting is not just talking. Backbiting is eating the flesh of your brother or sister, and Allah describes it in a way that should shake your heart. But some people have done it for so long that they don't feel anything anymore. And that is why they are dangerous, because they have normalized a major sin like it is normal daily talk. And here is what happens when you stay around a person like this for too long. Even if you don't speak, your heart starts accepting it. Even if you try to stay silent, your mind starts enjoying it. Even if you tell yourself you are not part of it, you still become affected by it. Because negativity is like smoke. You don't have to touch the fire to smell like it. When you sit in a place full of backbiting, it enters your heart and changes you slowly. You begin to see people through suspicion. You begin to believe the worst. You begin to lose respect for others. You begin to think everyone is evil. Everyone is fake. Everyone is a problem. That person doesn't just poison others. They poison you too. My beloved brothers and sisters, a believer should be someone who brings peace, not poison. A believer should be someone who protects people's honor, not destroys it. A believer should be someone who speaks with kindness or stays silent. But toxic people for your deen are those who make sin easy with their tongue, and then they bring you into it by pulling you into their conversations, because they will say, look at what this person did. Did you hear what she said? Let me tell you what he is really like. And they act like they are giving you information, but in reality they are spreading darkness. And the biggest danger is that backbiting does not only destroy relationships, it destroys your good deeds. It takes your rewards and gives them to the one you spoke about. It empties your scale on the day of judgment. So you might pray, you might fast, you might give charity, and then you sit in one gathering of gossip and it wipes away what you built, because the tongue is powerful and Allah is watching. So my brothers and sisters, if someone constantly backbites, constantly complains, constantly spreads hatred, and every time you sit with them you feel your heart becoming bitter and your mind becoming negative, then that is a clear sign this person is not good for your deen. You must protect yourself. You don't have to become rude. You don't have to create drama, but you must create distance. Change the topic. Leave the gathering. Stop listening, because you are not only protecting your own deeds, you are protecting your heart, and your heart is the place where Iman lives. And remember, a good company makes you remember Allah, but bad company makes you forget Him. And if someone's gatherings are full of sin, then staying away from them is not hatred, it is wisdom. 4. They get angry when you set Islamic boundaries. My beloved brothers and sisters, the 4th sign is when you try to set a boundary for the sake of Allah, and they become upset, they become offended, they become aggressive, and they start treating you like you are the bad person, even though you are only trying to protect your deen. You say something simple like, I can't go there, and they respond with anger. You say, I don't want to be part of this, and they call you rude. You say, I need to pray, and they make you feel like you are doing something inconvenient. You say, please don't talk to me like that. And suddenly they act like you are arrogant, like you are proud, like you are too much. And this is how many people get trapped, because they confuse boundaries with disrespect. But in Islam, boundaries are not disrespect. Boundaries are survival. A believer is allowed to protect their heart. A believer is allowed to avoid fitna. A believer is allowed to say no to haram. A believer is allowed to keep distance from what weakens their iman. Yet, some people don't want you to have those boundaries, because your boundaries stop them from controlling you. You see, my brothers and sisters, a person who truly loves you for the sake of Allah will never get angry when you choose halal. They will never be offended when you avoid sin. They will never mock you for having limits. They will respect your values even if they don't follow them. But the toxic person is different. The toxic person becomes angry when you become strong. The toxic person becomes uncomfortable when you become disciplined. The toxic person becomes frustrated when you stop being available for everything they want. And sometimes their anger comes from a very dangerous place. They are not angry because you disrespected them. They are angry because you stopped pleasing them. They are angry because you stopped being easy to manipulate. They are angry because you stopped saying yes to every invitation. They are angry because you stopped laughing at every joke. They are angry because you stopped accepting every wrong thing. They want the old version of you. The version of you that would sacrifice your peace just to keep them happy. The version of you that would stay quiet even when something is wrong. The version of you that would follow them even if it was leading to darkness. My beloved brothers and sisters, always remember this rule. If someone only loves you when you have no boundaries, that is not love, that is control. If someone only respects you when you are silent, that is not respect, that is dominance. If someone only likes you when you are weak, that is not care, that is exploitation. Islam teaches you to be kind, but Islam does not teach you to be a victim. So when you set Islamic boundaries, do it with manners, do it with calmness, do it with respect, but do not break those boundaries to avoid someone's anger. Because their anger is temporary, but the consequences of disobeying Allah can be heavy. You can tell them politely, I love you, I respect you, but I will not disobey Allah for anyone. You can tell them calmly, I'm not judging you, but I'm protecting myself. You can tell them with dignity, this is my limit and I will not cross it. And my brothers and sisters, if they continue to fight your boundaries, if they keep pressuring you, if they keep insulting you for being committed to your deen, then you must understand this person is not helping you. This person is pulling you away from Allah. And it is better to be alone with Allah than to be surrounded by people who make you lose yourself. Because at the end of the day, you will stand alone in front of Allah and nobody will be able to say, Ya Allah, forgive them because I pressured them. Nobody will be able to carry your sins for you. So protect your deen even if people don't like it, because pleasing Allah is the greatest success. 5. They break you emotionally until your iman becomes weak. My beloved brothers and sisters, the 5th sign is when someone keeps hurting you emotionally again and again, and they do it in a way that slowly destroys your spirit, your confidence, and even your relationship with Allah. They insult you, they humiliate you, they shout at you, they mock you, they constantly remind you of your mistakes, they bring up your past every time they want to win an argument, and they make you feel like you are never good enough, no matter how hard you try. They can damage you with words, with behavior, with coldness, with disrespect, and then they act like it is normal, like you deserve it, like it is nothing serious. And the reason this is dangerous for your deen is because emotional pain does not stay only in the heart, it affects your worship as well. You start feeling heavy before salah, you start losing focus in prayer. You stand on the prayer mat but your mind is not there, because your heart is bleeding inside. You raise your hands in dua but you feel tired, you feel broken, you feel like even your words are not coming out properly. You start losing motivation for good deeds, not because you hate Islam, but because you are exhausted from surviving constant stress and emotional attacks. My brothers and sisters, Allah created the believer to live with dignity, not to live as a punching bag. Yes, Islam teaches patience, Islam teaches forgiveness, Islam teaches mercy, but patience does not mean you accept dhulm again and again. Forgiveness does not mean you keep returning to the same harm. Mercy does not mean you allow someone to destroy you until you lose yourself. There is a difference between being patient and being crushed. There is a difference between being kind and being abused. Some people will break you emotionally and then they will say, you are too sensitive. Some people will hurt you deeply and then they will say, you are overreacting. Some people will disrespect you and then they will say, you can't take a joke. But my beloved brothers and sisters, when a person keeps hurting you and they do not care, when they do not apologize, when they do not try to change, when they do not feel any fear of Allah regarding the pain they cause, then you must understand this is not just a personality issue, this is a spiritual danger. Because the longer you stay around emotional harm, the more your heart becomes unstable. You begin to doubt yourself. You begin to blame yourself. You begin to feel like you are never enough. You begin to feel like love must be earned through suffering. You begin to feel like respect is something you don't deserve. And this is how people fall into deep sadness, deep depression, deep hopelessness. And then shaitan whispers to them, Allah will not help you. Your life will never change. You are trapped forever. But my brothers and sisters, this is not the truth. Allah is with the oppressed. Allah hears your silent tears. Allah knows what you are hiding behind your smile. Allah sees what you are enduring behind closed doors. So do not allow someone to break you until your Imaan becomes weak. Because Islam is meant to heal you, not to watch you bleed. So what do you do if this person is family? You do not become disrespectful, you do not become rude, but you become wise. You reduce contact. You stop exposing your heart to their poison. You stop expecting love from a place that only gives pain. You stop explaining yourself to people who enjoy misunderstanding you. You keep your respect, you keep your manners, but you protect your peace. Because protecting your Imaan is not selfish, it is necessary. And always remember this, my brothers and sisters. If your environment is breaking your heart every day, then you need to change your environment before it changes you. Because your heart is the place where faith lives. And you cannot build a strong connection with Allah while you are constantly being destroyed by people who don't fear Allah in the way they treat you. 6. They try to separate you from good people and isolate you. My beloved brothers and sisters, the 6th sign is one of the most dangerous signs of all, because it does not destroy you loudly, it destroys you quietly. And that sign is when someone tries to separate you from goodness, when they try to isolate you from people who remind you of Allah, from places that strengthen your Imaan, and from habits that bring light into your heart. They may not say directly, leave your deen, but they will try to cut every road that leads you closer to Allah until you feel trapped in a life where you are surrounded by negativity and far from guidance. You start going to the masjid and they become irritated. You start listening to beneficial reminders and they make fun of you. You start keeping company with righteous friends and they try to destroy those friendships. You start improving yourself and they call it a phase. You start praying regularly and they try to distract you. You start dressing with modesty and they try to embarrass you. You start learning Quran and they say, why are you wasting time? Subhanallah, they do not realize that they are attacking the very thing that could save you in this dunya and in the akhirah. And many times, my brothers and sisters, they do this because they fear losing control over you. When you are surrounded by good people, you become strong. When you are connected to reminders, you become awake. When you sit with those who love Allah, you start thinking differently. You start respecting yourself. You start seeing your worth. You start understanding that you don't have to accept every wrong thing. You start learning that you can say no. You start realizing that you deserve peace. And when a toxic person sees you gaining that strength, they feel threatened, because your growth means they can no longer manipulate you the way they used to. So what do? They isolate you. They make you feel guilty for having good friends. They accuse you of changing. They say you are forgetting your family. They say you are acting proud. They say you are being influenced. But in reality, my brothers and sisters, you are not being influenced in a bad way. You are being rescued. Because good people don't pull you into darkness, they pull you into light. Good people don't make you disobey Allah, they make you love obedience. Good people don't make you feel ashamed of Islam, they make you feel honored to be a Muslim. And isolation is one of Shaitan's oldest tricks, because Shaitan knows that when you are alone, you become weaker. When you are alone, your thoughts become heavier. When you are alone, your struggles become louder. When you are alone, you become easier to control. That is why Islam teaches the importance of good company, because your environment shapes your heart and your heart shapes your actions. If you sit with people who love sin, you will start seeing sin as normal. If you sit with people who love Allah, you will start seeing obedience as beautiful. My beloved brothers and sisters, if someone keeps trying to separate you from good people, from beneficial reminders, from religious gatherings, and from everything that increases your Imaan, then that is a clear sign this person is toxic for your Deen. They may not look like an enemy, but they are blocking your path to Jannah. They may not openly fight Islam, but they are quietly weakening your faith by cutting your support system. So what should you do? Stay respectful, stay calm, keep your manners, but do not let anyone isolate you from goodness. Keep your righteous friends, keep your connection to the masjid, keep your relationship with Quran, keep your love for reminders, keep your worship strong. Because, my brothers and sisters, on the day of judgment, the people who isolated you will not stand with you. The people who discouraged you will not protect you. The people who laughed at your Deen will not answer for you. You will stand alone, and Allah will ask you about your choices. So choose what saves you, choose what strengthens you, choose what brings you closer to Allah, even if people don't like it. Because the most powerful thing you can do in this dunya is protect your Deen. And the most successful person is not the one who keeps everyone happy, but the one who meets Allah with a clean heart and a strong faith. My beloved brothers and sisters, after hearing these signs, I want you to understand one thing clearly. Not everyone who is close to you is good for you. And not everyone who shares your blood, shares your values, and not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you strong in your Deen. Some people will love you only when you are weak. Some people will respect you only when you are silent, and some people will keep you around only because they benefit from your pain, your softness, your fear of losing them, and your guilt. But Islam teaches us something powerful, that your Deen is your greatest treasure and your connection with Allah is your real success. And if someone is slowly destroying that connection, then you must wake up before it is too late. Because losing your peace is painful, but losing your Iman is a disaster. And the truth is, many people